Once upon a time, there was a couple, a husband and a wife, who had been trying for years to have a child. And the wife believed that the Lord had finally blessed them with their desire to have a child. She was right. She had become pregnant. They lived in this beautiful home, and their windows faced a garden filled with beautiful flowers and beautiful herbs, a forbidden garden that belonged to the witch. The wife grew more and more pregnant, and she had more and more cravings. She looked out the window one day and saw a plant called the Rapunzel. It was bright green and looked delicious. She needed that plant. She knew it was in the forbidden garden. She needed it so bad that she began to make herself sick. She begged her husband, please go get me the Rapunzel plant. I'm going to die. And the husband, one night, hops the fence to the forbidden garden of the witch, and he grabs a handful of the Rapunzel plant and brings it back for his wife. She eats it, and she's fine. She's safe. And she desires it more and more. So she begs the husband once more to hop into the garden and steal her the Rapunzel plant one last time. The husband, in order to save his wife, hops the fence and he grabs a handful of the forbidden plant. But as he turns around, the witch is there. He begs for her mercy. She says that she will give him mercy only if he promises to give her his firstborn child. So the husband, grateful that he has been given the chance to save his wife and the witch has shown him mercy, he agrees to give up his firstborn child. He hurries back to his home and he tells the wife of the terrible deal that he has made. And the wife, heartbroken, agrees that this is best. So they have their child, and it's a girl, and they give it to the witch. The witch decides to name the girl Rapunzel and raises the girl as her own. The girl is the most beautiful girl the village has ever seen, the smartest girl the village has ever seen, and she has the most beautiful, long, golden locks of hair. So the witch locks her in a tower so that she cannot be taken by the boys who fancy her. She's locked in a tower with no doors and no stairs, but the witch comes to visit every day. Rapunzel has lived in the tower for years now, and the witch comes to the tower and shouts, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And Rapunzel untangles her braids of hair and hooks it over the window and lets it down to the ground so the witch can climb up. The witch climbs up and they spend their days together. She goes home at dusk. And to pass the time, Rapunzel sings in her tower. One day, a prince is traveling through the forest, and he hears this beautiful voice, and he must know the girl who sings this beautiful song. He finds the tower, but the tower has no stairs, no door, so he can get up there. So, crushed, he leaves and goes back to the village. He decides to come back another day. He comes back another day, and he sees that the witch is there. And the witch shouts, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel hooks her hair over the window and drops it down for the witch to climb up. The prince waits for the witch to leave, and he then shouts, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel lets down her hair, and he climbs up. She's terrified. She's never been in the presence of a man like this. She starts yelling at him for him to leave, and he tells her that he is in love with her beautiful voice. And he comes back day after day, and they fall in love. He then asks Rapunzel to marry him. She agrees. But they have to figure out a way for her to get out of the tower. So he agrees they will come back, and they will eventually build a ladder so that she can leave. Otherwise, the witch will be furious. So day after day, he brings back pieces of wood for them to build the ladder. And he cannot be there when the witch is there. So he leaves when the witch is arriving. And she shouts, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel lets down her hair, and she's spending the day with the witch. And she accidentally tells the witch how she plans on leaving. That she is much heavier than the prince who has been visiting her, and she plans on leaving with the prince. And the witch is in shock. How has the prince been visiting her without knowing? So the witch banishes Rapunzel to the desert, where she can have no visitors, and she chops off her hair. Rapunzel goes to the desert and makes her cottage and lives out her days there. The witch stays in the tower and waits for the prince to come back. And he shouts, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." She takes what's left of Rapunzel's hair, ties it in a knot over the window, and tosses it down for the prince. The prince climbs up the tower and he sees that it's the witch. She said, "Rapunzel is dead to you. She's gone. She's dead to you, don't worry about her." So the prince, heartbroken, leaves the tower and wanders into the forest. He's crushed and he's lost for years. He eventually finds a desert, and in the desert there is a cottage with 2 children playing outside. He walks up to the children. Children, please, where's your mother?" Their mother opens the door and walks out, and it's Rapunzel. They run to each other and fall in love all over again and live happily ever after in their cottage in the desert.